What's happening, family? So, market is at all-time highs again. We have QQQ making it to the higher highs again to the upside. So, market is looking positive. We have ways to go as far as up, but at the same time, we always need to have some type of pullback. And I'm saying that, which is not looking right. That there's some stocks that still haven't hit their all-time highs yet, which I'm gonna go over, which need to probably hit their all-time highs, continue up a little bit, and then come back down. There's some of them that not giving no signs as far as any bearish divergence. So we're talking about they still can push. So there's certain things that we're seeing in the market, and for the market to actually come back down really quick, it's going to be have to be some catastrophic news or some catastrophic event that's going to happen to where that market come back and really pull back a huge amount. So guys, my name is George. Welcome to my channel. If you're getting any type of value from my channel, guys, go ahead, hit the subscribe button, and make sure you turn your notification bell on. But without further ado, guys, I'm going to jump into the charts and share my screen with you so you could see what's going on in the market, what we could do as far as capture some type of move in the market, and my trade ideas. Again, this is not financial advice, so let's go ahead and jump in to this as well. All right, so here we go, guys. All right, so what we're seeing right here is all-time highs on QQQ, and we still have ways to go. Now, remember that 650 is a psych level, which we hit 650 and reject and come right down. We had a $10 drop, right, off of the 650 and came back down. Would I say that's a pullback? I would say it respected that 650 range for the last 3 days, right, where it did not break above the 650, but now we're above that 650. So where is going to be that next level, our psych level? Well, we're at a next psych level, which is 655, 660, 665. The major level is going to be 675, but I don't think we're going to get to 675 without some type of pullback. Now, how bad that pullback could be, I'm not saying it's going to be crazy, right? But you have to look at certain things as far as run up wise and look at the history of things. Like if we see a run up, and I'm talking about a good run up before a pullback, you're talking about from right here, from the low to right here to right up here, right? And I wouldn't even say that. You're talking about probably right here, but a good run up before you have a major drop would be right here, right? So, and then you have a retracement, which comes down to the 0.38, and then push back up. So we have to see something. We have to see some type of pullback happen, even if it's that 3.8, that 0.38 pullback, and then a continue up. But we have to see something along the way. And I feel like with this happening, with this run up happening, especially if you look like the gap up and then continuation breaking all-time highs, because we are at all-time highs, guys, this is not the time for you to say, okay, I'm going to short QQQ, because QQQ still can continue with all the earnings that's going on right now. We still can continue up. Now, one of the things is we are creating or setting up for a bullish divergence on the day, a bearish divergence, sorry, on the day, where we have higher highs that are happening, and the indicator, right, is showing that we can have a higher low, but something drastic have to happen, right? Something drastic have to happen. Now, we have news coming in tomorrow, which we have unemployment coming in tomorrow. We have what else? We have the flash manufacturing PMI, right? We have flash service. So those are going to have some type of effect on the market, especially if unemployment comes in really, really high tomorrow. So if you're talking about, say, unemployment coming in at 230 something or 250 something, then we could see a really good drop in the market or good dip in the market. That's something that can happen before the market for us to see some type of drop in the market or some type of retracement coming back down. But as far as right now, the market is bullish, right? The market is bullish. We're even looking at SPY. SPY did not break back up to their all-time highs yet, but we're close to breaking back all-time highs, with the next stop being right at that 613 level. I would say 615, a good psych level as well, but we're still at a psych level at 710. We can reject off of here. Again, we're creating a bearish divergence setup to where the bearish divergence setup is going to be that higher high happening right here, and then we have a lower high happening on the oscillator. So we have that bearish divergence that's setting up on the day, but we have to see confirmation on that bearish divergence before we could say, all right, it's a time for a good pullback as well, right? So what did we talk about yesterday as far as opportunities that we could look at? We talk about Amazon. Amazon was one of the opportunities that we look at, and I was looking for more of a downside. A lot of the stocks today basically consolidated, right? We have a lot of good setups for tomorrow, looking for breakouts to happen tomorrow because we had a lot of consolidation that happened today. And one of the things that I'm kind of expecting to happen is most of my setups is probably not going to be tradable because the simple fact that with news coming in tomorrow, we might have that gap up. Now, if it's flat and we have no gap up to either the upside or downside and we open up a little bit flat, then that's a good trading opportunity for us to take as far as for the consolidation looking for a breakout, right? So with this right here, we broke back to the upside. So I told last night, I mentioned that if we break above here, we could be bullish as far as for Amazon. Right now, Amazon, I was looking for Amazon to be bearish, okay? I was looking for the break to the downside on Amazon, but we break back to the upside. We did not break the week yet. We did not break the week yet, so we're still within that weekly time frame. So I still think that we could pull back, okay? We still can pull back on this. We are setting up for bearish divergence as well on Amazon. So all of these are setting up for bearish divergence. We're going into earnings in the next couple of weeks. So in a sense, not even a couple of weeks, by the end of the week, so you're talking about next week. So in a sense, we still can push up because Amazon have earnings next week, so we could push up into earnings and then reject off that's probably that 260 261 level to come back down, right? So that's what we're looking at as far as Amazon. Now if Amazon break to the upside tomorrow, then Amazon could possibly push, but that's not my setup, or that's not my thing for tomorrow. Looking for continuation on Amazon because of where Amazon is right now. Also, we talked about, what's the next one? Meta, right? So we talked about Meta as far as the opportunity to either side of the trade today. And one of the things that you have to pay attention to is when you're trading options is getting your contracts, right? And one of the things is if you go too far out the money and playing zero DTE contracts, you can get chopped up, guys. You can get chopped up. Even if the trade goes right, if you have time on your contract, you will be able to make money. If you buy closer to the money, you will be able to make money. But when you buy too far out of the money, and sometimes you might think that one contract out from where the money at might be not bad, but at the same sense, right, it could not, there's a possibility that it might not get to your target that day. And at a zero DTE contract, you can get chopped up to where when it start moving in your direction, you still don't end up making profit because you're down from all the chop. So in this sense, if you played Meta today and you did get those 670 50 calls, then it would be an instance where you would have made money, right? Because we did go into the money later on into the day. We popped up on Meta right here. I talked about if we break to the downside, then Meta would be puts. If we break to the upside, then Meta will be calls. Now, again, with this, what I'm seeing right here is we have both sides that we could play on Meta. Meta still can come up and test our VWAP area right here. As far as on the weekly, we are still within the week. We gap down on the week, so we still can come up, push, close this gap on the week and push above here. That's an opportunity that might, that's a possibility that can happen, right? However, there's also a possibility to the downside. If we break here tomorrow based on news, which right now we're at, we're down $2 on post market. If we break below here, it could be a possibility where we come up to test the 200, which that was my target at 680. We did not hit there completely, right? But at the end of the day, if we now reject off of there, because this could count as a rejection, and then come back down, break here, we could see some potential downside of Meta as well, right? Remember, all these stocks have ran up significantly in the last week or two. If you look at Meta right here, this is a complete run up right here, right? We had a huge drop down, but we have a huge run up. Now we are creating higher highs right now. We were creating lower highs, right? But now we are creating higher highs. We broke above here, so now the structure changed. But even though the structure changed, we still need to pull back and create a lower high, not a lower high, but a higher low, and then continue up. So the structure changed from being bearish to now bullish, right? Because we now creating a higher low, higher highs on the day. But now we need to come back down and possibly pull back. Let me see if I could find my arrow. Sometimes I mess up on this right here. Trying to find the right one. Do I have it over here? No, I didn't put it on my damn favorites. But let's just do this. I'm trying to show you guys something, but either way, if you have something to wear, I'm just gonna use this. This is not the right one to use, but oh well. So say for instance, we come down from right here, we pull down, right? And even if we pull down to test the gap down here, right, that would be perfect, okay? But now where are we seeing consolidation and in areas, right? We break above the high, which is over here. So because now we have a higher high, we have a lot of consolidation within here, right, within this range. So in a sense, we could come right back to here and bounce off that level because that was a support area back in the time. That's why we see right here becomes resistance at a little bit, and then we pop up above it. So now we come down, test right here, we pop up, create higher high again, come right here, lower, higher low, and then we continue up, right? So that's something that we could do as far as for Meta, right? But we need to see some type of pullback. Anytime we hit the 200, you can expect a rejection to come back down and then a possible pop back up, right? But play as the market give you at the same time. Now, for today, right? What do we trade today? We did a trade on Meta, but we also did a trade on Microsoft, right? Microsoft gave us 70% on Microsoft. We're still in a trade, by the way, that we took today. Not gonna say what it is, but Microsoft still has a potential to push up even more. We have this gap up that we created. Now the gap is from right here to right up here. So we have that huge gap. Let me take that out. We have this huge gap to fill from right here on Meta, not Meta, but Microsoft. So we have this huge gap to fill right here, right? So this, let me just put right in there from right now. So gap closes here. I'm doing this in real time with y'all, right? So just so I could put it right there. So now the gap closes once we hit the top part. The bottom part is the gap right here. So that means that anytime we touch right here, we have not tested that area since January. So guess what? When we test here, we most likely will have some type of reaction. We most likely will reject that area because this is the first time we're testing the area. The only way I could see us popping through that area is right here at earnings, where earnings is coming up. My thing is messing with this. Most likely the end of the month. Yeah, on the 29th. So next week. So what we could do is we could come up here, test right here, reject off of it, pull back down right before earnings a little bit. And then on earnings, we can gap up. Or if we push through, right, and get some part in the gap, then we could possibly come down at earnings. Anytime you see earnings, a stock run all the way up on earnings, right before earnings, there's a possibility that it might pull back on earnings because sometimes the numbers are already played into the run up. Okay, it's already factored into the run up. So even though a stock might have good earnings, it still can fall, and a stock can have bad earnings and it still can gap up. So that's why I don't play earnings, because of the simple fact that if you're playing earnings, it's like you gambling because you really don't know what is going to really happen. You're just playing it 50-50 at that point. Now, for Microsoft, why did I take Microsoft? I took it for the continuation, knowing that, all right, we can push up, knowing that certain factors are there. We saw the break as far as reversal to the upside. We did not hit target as far as that day. So a break here is just a continuation to the upside. I already told everyone today, hey, we're targeting two levels. We're targeting right here at the top of the week. If we break this, that means that we're breaking weekly high and we can break out and continue up, right, to 335. But we're gonna mark the three not 335 but 435. But we're also gonna mark 430, right? 430 from the breaker here is a psych level. So you have to think about psych levels. So 430 was my first target, followed by 431.65, right? We break through those two targets, we break the weekly. So because we break the weekly, we could continue up to right here where there's now some type of sell pressure right there, right? Close to the gap, like I said, so we could go into the gap, test that gap, and then reject and come back down, right? So that's the play as far as what I was looking at and why I took Microsoft to the upside. We collected 70% on Microsoft. Great trade out the gate. Now, as far as tomorrow, what I'm seeing for tomorrow, there's a lot of consolidation happening on all the charts. I will say this, guys, Bitcoin is looking lovely. I talk about Bitcoin need to break a certain level um, as far as for it to be bullish. Bitcoin is in a bullish trend. Okay, we're in a bullish trend with Bitcoin. We are creating higher lows and we are creating higher highs. We broke out of this level right here, and I said, hey guys, once we break out of this level, we are going to be bullish on Bitcoin. We came here, we tested it, we rejected. We came back down, then we break through it. Once we break through it, we create a higher low, and now we're breaking through this high that it created. So now we created a higher high. We're looking to push up. Now, Bitcoin have not touched the 200 in a very long time. So with that said, we can eventually target Bitcoin to go at least. Now, we all see or hear speculations because that's what it is, right? Speculations. But we could say, all right, if Bitcoin goes to $1 million, Bitcoin have to go to a certain number regardless, right? Not financial advice. Just go watch the news and what everybody's saying. So either way, right here at the 200 will be a nice target as far as the 200 at at 85,000 for Bitcoin. So I'm seeing Bitcoin going to that 85,000 range. Now, one of the things for Bitcoin right now, we are, if you look left, always want to look left, guys. If you look left, look where we rejected. We rejected this area one, two, three times, right? We rejected that same area. So if you draw a line right here, you always want to look left and look where that area is. One, two, three candles. This candle was a support. So support became, this candle came, closed right here. Then we had support become resistance. So we had one, two, three rejected and we fell, right? This is the first time we're testing that level again. We reject off of there. We're looking for the break to the upside because we're creating higher highs, higher lows. We're looking for that continuation. Now, if we continue, what you're going to see is you're going to see any stock that's related to Bitcoin is going to push. You're going to have Mara, you're going to have Riot, you're going to have what other stock? You're going to have Hood, right? All of these stocks are going to push because of crypto, right? You have Mara as well. Mara pushed up. Mara actually gapped up. I was looking at Mara for a possible trade today, but because of the gap up, I did not look at it. I was also looking for coin for a trade today, but because coin gapped up significantly, I wasn't looking for coin for a trade today. If you notice, it's the same thing that's happening to coin. Coin has the same similar thing where we're rejecting right off of here. Okay, so once we break above this level, we need to see a break above this level, close above it, and then come back down, use resistance as support, and then start creating higher highs right here. But right now we're in this phase where we came one, two, now three times. The third time we need to break through that and continue up. Now we still can pull back a little bit We did pull back on this candle right here, but if we pull back more and test VWAP and then come back up and break, that's fine as well. But we could possibly break through as well, depending on the news and everything factored in coming into tomorrow. So as far as trade ideas for tomorrow, I have right here, like I said, there's a lot of consolidation that's happening um, throughout the market today. There was a lot of consolidation. One of them that I'm looking at tomorrow is definitely Baba. I like Baba and the setup on Baba. So I will be looking at Baba to either side, either break to the upside or to the downside. To the upside, it will be a stronger move. But what I'm looking for right now, as far as there's a lot of fake outs that's been happening, especially if one of them I was looking at was Intel. But even with Intel, I will go back to Baba, but even with Intel, we broke above here. The reason why I wasn't trading Intel today, I had Intel on my list as far as to watch, but the reason why I didn't like it is because we have earnings. And looking at Intel premium contracts, their IV, which is their implied volatility, is 150 something, I believe. So I wasn't gonna trade that. So I leave any type of stock that's having earnings the day before, a couple of days before. Typically, their implied volatility is high, so I don't want to deal with those stocks. I don't want to get caught up in those stocks. So I leave it and let the opportunity come afterwards, where the contracts will now get back to their regular price range, or the implied volatility will cool down and get back to normal. That's when I'll start looking at those stocks again. But as far as Baba, let's go back to Baba. I like Baba as far as the consolidation. It consolidated today, and we saw a lot of consolidation within stocks today. So a break above here, we can target the 138 level. With a break above that 170, that 137 range. Now it's a dollar move, which to me kind of like, man, it's only a dollar move, but I will see how it plays out. Again, profit is profit. If you can wake up and take 10%, 20% out the market every single day consistently, that's a win. Okay, develop a strategy, develop a rule, develop your gift of like looking for certain strategies and using them. Be patient with your trade and just take money out the market. So what I'm looking for is a break above Baba high to the upside, a break below here, and we could come down. Now, one of the things that's going to play out, and most likely we're going to have some type of gap up or gap down tomorrow based on the news. So if that happens, you guys already know what is my whole thing with this. I don't trade gaps. So if it gap below and it opened below here, I am not taking the puts. If it open above here, I am not taking the calls. I will wait. Okay, I will wait for market to pull back, close the gap, and then push up, just like it did with Microsoft today. I will wait for that before I get in the trade. I will be more comfortable taking that trade instead of market gap up. You go in a call, market pull back, and now you get caught holding the bag. So guys, thank you so much for being here with me. One of the things I always say is you don't want to chase. You want to make sure that you follow your rules, have the right mindset. Don't follow FOMO, and be mindful and be patient. Wait for your trade to happen. Once your trade happen, make sure you have your stop loss in place. Make sure you have your take profit in place. And when you see the trade, just execute. Right now, we trade live every day, guys. So if you want to come in our Discord, it's free to come in our Discord. As far as we give you a lot of value when it comes to our Discord. Me and my wife trade every single day. The Discord description, the Discord will be in the description. It's called Married to the Markets. It's Married to the Markets because me and my wife are, my wife would say, my wife and I, right? My wife and I trade every single day, guys. So if you want to trade live with us and get gains like we did on Microsoft at 70%, feel free to come in, join the Discord. You will have to upgrade to the VIP section to trade with us. But if you like what you see right here and you get value and you take any of the trades, drop them in the comments and let me know you took a trade and how it played out for you. But if all means, make sure you also subscribe, hit the like button, hit the notification bell, and I will see you guys tomorrow on the next market recap. All right, guys, have a good night.